Number 17 by Senator Peterson, a resolution expressing sincere condolences to the Senate upon the death of Felicia Kahn.
Then moves suspension of rules to take up the resolution. Senator Peterson, you want to speak on it? Senator, you want to speak on it? Yeah. You want to say a few words? Senator LaFleur? Senator LaFleur? Go ahead, Senator Peterson.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, this resolution that was just introduced is a resolution offering and expressing condolences to someone who was a dear personal friend and mentor of mine, literally since the age of 8. I am 48 years old. For 40 years. This morning we learned of the death of a phenomenal woman, phenomenal civil activist and organizer in our community. Her name is Felicia Kahn. You might remember being a little over 4 feet and always moving around and always advocating for the issues that are important to the people of our state. And so we hurriedly got this resolution done because we happen to be in special session. Her services are going to be next week. But I'd like to first just, Mr. President, if we could take a moment of silence. I'm joined here by my colleagues in the New Orleans area. I know they too express their condolences to her family and the greater New Orleans community. So thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. And if I could just read a little bit, if you didn't know Felicia, you really missed something. For 40 years, I started, as I said, in politics 40 years ago, and I ran for my first office at the age of 18. I probably won with like 500 votes. I ran as a delegate to the Democratic National Convention in Atlanta in 1988. And Felicia, those supporters at that time, and everything that I've done along the way, she has consistently been. She's also been a voice when she thought I was going the wrong way and would give me those quiet calls in the evening or early in the morning to say, Karen, have you thought about this? But she was the conscience of our community and of our party. And I am forever grateful to have known her and for all the lives that she touched. Whereas it's with deep regrets and profound sorrow that the citizens of Louisiana learned of the death of Felicia Kahn this morning, a local legend in political circles and civil rights and women's advocacy movements at the age of 91. Whereas she was born in New Orleans on July 11th, 1926, and she attended Isidore Newman School and graduated from Newcomb College in 1948. Whereas Ms. Kahn had several professors who were interested in political action in the Democratic Party, and she joined the organization, casting her first ballot for Harry Truman. Whereas in her senior year at Newcomb, she met Martha Robinson, who was on campus looking for students to join the League of Women Voters in New Orleans. Ms. Kahn joined the group and assisted in registering women to vote and raising voter awareness. Whereas soon after graduating from college in 1948, she married Charles Kahn Jr. and began working as a client visitor with the Louisiana Department of Public Welfare. But she quit working to start a family. Her son Chip was in a stroller, and Ms. Kahn campaigned for Mayor Chep Morrison and for Miss Robinson, then a candidate for New Orleans City Council. Whereas Ms. Kahn found her passion with the Louisiana League of Women Voters, the League of Women Voters, and volunteered with the organization and gave her solid background in all the important issues of the day. She introduced her to the New Orleans first wave of women political leaders, including Matilde Dreyfus, Betty Wisdom, Margaret Pokey McKinney, and McHaney, Carolyn Gay Blondie LaBousse, and I'm getting all of these names terribly messed up, Mildred Osborne, and Marion Abramson. And whereas, often with a toddler on her knee, she served the organization in many capacities, including president from 1966 to 1969, when I was born, and became a frequent visitor of newsrooms pushing for coverage and traveling to Baton Rouge. After leaving the League of Women Voters Board, she became an active member of many other organizations: the New Orleans Coalition, the Independent Women's Organization, the National Women's Political Caucus, Common Cause, the National Council of Jewish Women. In 1972, Ms. Kahn worked with the biracial National Women's Political Caucus to encourage women to attend the Democratic Convention and won a seat on the DSCC, backed by Mayor Landrieu and the New Orleans Coalition. In 1976, she joined Jimmy Carter's presidential campaign, was a Carter appointee to the convention's Rules Committee, began to meet people from around the country, and who thought differently about women's roles, and was a candidate in the race for the Louisiana legislature. From 76 to 2016, Ms. Kahn was a delegate to 5 Democratic national conventions, for Jimmy Carter, Gary Hart, Bill Clinton, and twice for Hillary Clinton, and once as an alternate. In 2016, she was the oldest delegate, one of them, to the historic convention that nominated Hillary Clinton to serve as the first woman presidential candidate. At the time of her passing, Ms. Kahn was serving as an elected member for the Orleans Parish Democratic Executive Committee. She has spent a lifetime supporting Democratic ideals and was an integral part in promoting gender equality within the party. Whereas her words sum up her lifetime of political activism best. She said, "Women play an important role in society. It is absolutely essential that a woman be elected president. Electing male presidents every 4 years is just wrong. The people in charge of our country should look like the population. You can't really have representative government without true representation of the population." Ms. Kahn was a passionate feminist, political activist, and lifelong advocate of citizen education and social justice. The success of the state of Louisiana, the strength of its communities, and the overall vitality of American society depend in great measure upon people like Felicia Kahn. I thank you for your indulgence and your attention. She is worthy of it, and I ask for your blessings and your prayers for her family. What a wonderful person, but she's left an indelible mark on my heart, and I know on so many others, and I ask you to continue to pray. Thank you, Mr. President.
Senator Peterson now moves adoption.